The Jewish tradition believes very strongly in free will. That is, that we have the ability to know what is right and wrong and to do what is right and wrong, and therefore it holds us responsible for our actions. This may seem obvious to Jews, but it's not obvious at all because other traditions really see this very differently. In Christianity, there is the doctrine of original sin, such that we are born with sin that we cannot overcome through our actions. The only way to avoid it is or the only way to overcome it, actually, is through faith in Jesus and a supernatural intercessor, and it's to basically save us from hell in the world to come. In Islam, the vast majority of schools of theology are deterministic, where the presumption is that everything that you do has already been determined by God. And similarly, in schools the schools of thought in Buddhism, you get some of the same idea. Judaism, on the other hand, is very much on the other end of the spectrum because it presumes that we have free will and that we can change. And that really is the theme of Rosh Hashanah, the 10 days of repentance, and Yom Kippur. Given that, the question then is, though, how do we change? Because the tradition really understands that change is very difficult. And sometimes there are pieces to us that we cannot change. We cannot change, for example, the fact that we are not able to fly to the moon without a major technological intervention to get us there. There are some limits, not just physical limits, but also psychological limits to the ways in which we can change. And what is important during this time is to try to identify the things that need to be changed, as well as some concrete steps that might help us to do that. All of us understand how New Year's resolutions come and go, and within usually several weeks, they are no longer part of our lives. In order to avoid that, if you really want to change something in your life, you have to find the small, nitty-gritty ways in which you can go from A to B. That may be something that will not give you immediate results. It may be only over time that you see those kinds of results, but they will be real rather than just simply wished for if you can identify the small steps that are necessary in order to be able to accomplish your goal. The process of tshuva is very much like that. The process of tshuva has steps to it. It's not just that I wish I could wipe away what I had done before. It's that I have to, first of all, acknowledge that I did something wrong. I have to apologize. I have to be regretful. I have to try to make amends and repair the damage when I can. And ultimately, I have not succeeded in the process of tshuva until the same sort of issue arises again, and I act differently. So Judaism does very much involve forgiveness, but it's not cheap. It's a forgiveness that has to be earned through these various steps. And that model of taking very specific steps to make changes in our lives, I think, is an important model for us in other things that really have nothing to do with the need to be forgiven. You want to be on a diet. You want to stop smoking. You want to repair a relationship with somebody. Those kinds of things require small steps that are taken out and planned carefully and then followed. May you be successful in the changes that you wish to make for yourselves in the coming year.